Hi everyone and welcome. Welcome to today's exciting webinar dedicated to smarter issue tracking in 2D and 3D. We are excited to announce that Bricsys integrated with BIM Track, the industry-leading web-based communication platform for BIM project coordination. Together, we help our users facilitate their multi-platform BIM coordination workflows and improve communications. And that is what this webinar is all about. My name is Jean-Philippe van der Bracht. I am a business development manager here at Bricsys. We are truly honored to run this live session with Carl Storms, Technical Solutions Lead at BIM Track. Hello, Carl. My colleague Ruben Decuypere from our BIM development team will join this virtual stage too. He will help you get an inside look at this integration and discover modern ways of coordinating BIM data from design to construction. Before we move on to the main part of our webinar, let me quickly introduce you to Bricsys and BricsCAD BIM, especially for those of you who do not know us yet. So who is Bricsys? We are a global provider of affordable, modern, computer-aided design, building information modeling, mechanical design, and cloud-based common data environment products brought to market under the BricsCAD and Bricsys 24/7 brands. In other words, we are a global, technology-focused company that offers modern, innovative engineering solutions. We serve hundreds of thousands of engineers, designers, architects, surveyors, and professionals in the building and manufacturing industries in over 110 countries. Bricsys is part of Hexagon AB, a publicly listed technology group with more than 20,000 employees worldwide. We are headquartered here in Ghent, Belgium, and have over 200 employees across 8 international offices. And now let's take a look at the BricsCAD product family. Please note that all our editions run on one format, the DWG format. Those of you who thought that DWG reached its limits 20 years ago were wrong. We proved that this format offers multiple, powerful, and very performant design solutions and opportunities. So if you need a better AutoCAD LT, or if you want the power of Lisp and access to network licenses, then you can choose BricsCAD Lite for your 2D drafting work. Or maybe you want a modern, high-performance CAD tool to replace your expensive AutoCAD subscription. BricsCAD Pro is then right for you. BricsCAD Mechanical is our MCAD solution, offering assembly modeling, sheet metal, bill of material handling, all in DWG format. And to finalize, in focus for today's session is BricsCAD BIM. It offers an alternative BIM workflow with the focus on design first. And finally, BricsCAD Ultimate does it all by giving you access to all BricsCAD V21 workflows and features. Also, when you download the BricsCAD 1-month free trial, you will get Ultimate to experience the full BricsCAD potential. Moreover, all of our products can be supported by Bricsys 24/7, our cloud-based common data environment that offers data storage, workflow management, and team collaboration. Now, let's take a closer look at BricsCAD BIM that we're highlighting here today as a part of this integration. So you can begin capturing your design with 3D solids without the limitations of family-based systems. Then you can leverage the power of AI and machine learning to classify your BIM elements automatically, so you can create associative detailed drawings at any point in the BIM development workflow. We focus on familiarity using DWG and XREF to bring building information modeling to everyone. With that in mind, I thank you already for your attention, and then I hand over the presentation to Carl Storms. Carl, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Jean-Philippe. Let me go ahead and start my slides. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to take a little bit of time here to talk about BIM Track. Some of you I see in the chat stream here are users of BIM Track. Some of you are new, so we'll give you the high view tour, at least as much as we can here in 5 minutes. So who's using BIM Track? Well, to put it easily, companies of all shapes and sizes are using BIM Track all over the world. Whether you're the owners, the architect, the engineers, the general contractors, or even the sub-trades, they're all taking advantage of what we can do with our issue tracking and communication platform. This is where I also like to say that issues don't have to be bad things. A lot of times when we're talking about issues and issues management, we always think about that hole in the drywall, that missing column, or something's not where it's supposed to be. And we absolutely cover that spectrum of the gamut. But also think about all the other things that we can do with a platform where you assign somebody and they're accountable for a task management, drawing review, project handover, RFIs. We even have people that are doing installation of their products using the BIM Track platform. So as you can see, it's really a platform that's very flexible. The reason these people are using BIM Track is because some of the challenges that they face. You know, there's a lot of people involved in the project. Everyone has a different way of storing their information, different silos. And as you can see from our typical coordination workflow here, we have PDFs, we have models, we have emails, we have Slack channel communications going all over the place. And really, there's got to be a better way. Just so happens that we think the BIM Track workflow helps us get to that better way. We get rid of all of those different places for our information. We store them in one central location, and we're able to access them directly in your authoring tool or reviewing tool of your choice. So you don't have to leave to go to a different platform to make use of the product. So I'm going to show a quick little video here that kind of drives that point home. So what we're seeing here on the screen is we're able to take clashes from Navisworks, create them to issues inside of BIM Track, and then we're able to receive or retrieve those clashes that have become issues and resolve them directly inside of Revit without having to leave the authoring platform. We sort of saw that little panel down the side. That's the BIM Track application. So let me hop back into my slide deck here. And so now we've kind of seen the power, the true power of the platform is the idea that we don't have to leave your authoring tool. You're spending your day inside of Revit. You come in the morning, you fire up Revit, you look at the BIM Track add-in, you take a look at your to-do list, as I do air quotes here, and you work your way through. You can review issues, you can create issues, you can assign issues, you can create comments, you can stay in touch with all the other stakeholders in the project, all from one location. Of course, we also understand that while we're doing that, not everyone is going to be taking advantage of BIM software, whether it be using BricsCAD BIM or Revit or Navisworks or what have you. We then have the ability to use our web-based system that allows everyone to be part of that process. So they can take advantage of that web platform to see the information, to make comments, to create issues, to review issues, to share issues, to even add markups to what's there. If you head over to bimtrack.co, a lot more information is available to be shared than what we can give here in our 5-minute demonstration, but some high-level overviews. We can see here that we've got a 2D issues as well as our 3D content we can review directly inside of Revit. We have our 2D, 3D overlay or hyper modeling functionality inside of our web platform. So we have a 2D sheet that's been exported as a PDF as well as our model that's been exported from Revit as an IFC, and we have the ability to see the content in 2D and 3D in the same place and time. This really helps people that are not BIM savvy to see what's going on. We can see all of the issues, and we can slice and dice it however we want into our web platform. And of course, we have the ability to see a quick overview from our dashboard to see all of the information. And just to bring this into a conclusion here, we are an open BIM platform, and we believe in keeping the information open as well. And with that, you can see some of the add-ins that we have in place, like we're talking about with BricsCAD, ArchiCAD, technical structures. We have all of our integrations, some powerful ones that come into place. We are getting a ton of traction with Power BI, Enscape, of course, our new BricsCAD integration here. And we even have the BCF capability, so we can export the metadata from the issues and bring that into other platforms in the BCF format. And all of that sits on top of our open API that can take us over and above what we don't see here. All right, so that's a whole bunch to take in 5 minutes about BIM Track. But for now, I will finish up and I will pass it off to Ruben to tell us a little bit more about the integration. Ruben, the floor is yours.
Okay, so let me first talk a bit about Open BIM. Because the Open BIM approach is really why we invested in this BIM Track BricsCAD BIM integration. So what is Open BIM? BIM is about collaboration, we all know that, but Open BIM goes further. Open BIM promotes vendor-neutral collaboration. So we at Bricsys really believe in this Open BIM approach, being able to collaborate with project partners, no matter what BIM tools those partners use. That's why Bricsys is also an international member of Building Smart, which is the organization that creates the open standards that we need to make the Open BIM approach possible. So there are two open standards that are essential to make Open BIM a reality. So the first one is IFC, which is an open software independent file format to share BIM models. With IFC, you can combine different models, for example, an architectural one, structural model, MEP model, and so on. Models that might be coming from different authoring tools into a single federated model. And there you can do design reviews, quality checks, clash detections, and so on. So both BIM Track and BricsCAD BIM support IFC. So you can both import and export IFC files in BricsCAD BIM. And what's also important is when you import an IFC file in BricsCAD BIM, all the building elements are loaded as native objects. So you can not only view them within BricsCAD, but also edit them just like any other native object in BricsCAD. By the way, BricsCAD BIM is also IFC certified, which is a quality label to guarantee a good workflow. But in a typical BIM workflow, you also want to communicate efficiently with your project partners on issues, change requests, and so on. And as Carl already showed, discussing issues in a BIM project can get quite messy. So with back and forth emailing, trying to describe what the exact issue is. But for that, we can use BCF, which is another open standard created by Building Smart. BCF helps you communicate more efficiently with project partners who might be using other BIM authoring tools. So what is BCF exactly? BCF stands for BIM Collaboration Format. And it basically is a combination of a message and context information. So the message is what you want to communicate to your project partner. For instance, you want to indicate that something is wrong in the model, like a connection between building elements, or you want to ask a question about the thermal properties of a window. But BCF goes further than that, and it also contains contextual information. So you can store a location, a viewpoint, to indicate what location in the model is that you're talking about in your issue. So as a result, it can avoid quite some confusion in the communication. The BCF standard supports two workflows. The first one is a file-based workflow. So after creating issues, and for example, BIM Track, you could export that issue or multiple issues to a BCF file, and then you can send that BCF file to your project partner, who could then import it in BricsCAD BIM. That workflow was already supported before, but however, there's a workflow that's even a lot more efficient, which uses the BCF API. So with the BCF API, the issues are synchronized in real time between BIM Track and BricsCAD BIM. So there's no need to send files. In BricsCAD BIM, when you want to communicate with BCF issues, you can do it in the BCF panel. And unlike many other BIM tools for which you need to install plugins to use BCF, the BCF panel is built in BricsCAD BIM. So within the BCF panel, you can import BCF files if you want to use that, the file-based workflow. But you can also connect with multiple cloud platforms like BIM Collab, BIM Sync, and from now on, we also support BIM Track with our BCF panel. So within BCF panel, you can review issues, you can navigate to their location, update properties like the status, the priority, and so on. You can add comments, add a screenshot, and so on. So what do you need to get started? Two things, basically. So you need an active BricsCAD BIM or Ultimate license, and you need a BIM Track subscription. Before I go to the demo itself, I will go over the workflow that I will use. So for this demo, we assume that that the structural engineer is using BricsCAD BIM. So he created the structural model in BricsCAD BIM. And we also have an architectural model for our project coming from any BIM authoring tool. In line with the Open BIM approach, they export their model to an IFC file and send it to the BIM coordinator, who can then import those models in BIM Track and then do design review and quality assessment and so on. So the BIM coordinator then finds an issue within the model. So he creates an issue in BIM Track, which then and he assigns it to the structural engineer, which is then synchronized automatically with the BCF panel. So the structural engineer can then see the issue from within BricsCAD BIM and can then change his model accordingly. After doing the necessary modifications, he changes the status of the issue within the BCF panel in BricsCAD BIM, and then that update of the status gets synchronized back again to BIM Track, so that the BIM coordinator is always up to date. So I start my demo as a structural engineer. So I've created my structural model within BricsCAD BIM. Normally I would export this to IFC and then send it to the BIM coordinator. I have done this already, and I have loaded the IFC file in BIM Track. So I go to my project in BIM Track. And I open the viewer. So there, the BIM coordinator has already loaded the different models, the structural model and the architectural model. When I click on this model, and is shown here, I can also open other models like the architectural model, the MEP model, if it's already provided. So now the BIM coordinator can do design review, quality assessment, etc. In BIM Track. And for example, in this case, the BIM coordinator sees that the LOD of the connections of the metal elements here is not sufficient. So I'll create an issue for the structural engineer. So I click here on the Issues tab, and I click on Localize Issue. I click on the spot where the issue occurs. And now I can add some details, like a title, for example, structural beam connection, a description, the status is already set to open. I can give assign a type, for example, issue, priority is high, discipline is in this case structure, and importantly I can assign it, in this case, to the structural engineer. I could also set a due date. And then I can click Save, and a new issue is created. Not only with all the details I provided, but also the information on the location. So now I'm only seeing the 3D model, but you could also use a 2D workflow. So I could create 2D layouts and export them to PDF files from within BricsCAD. I did this for this layout that I already added to BIM Track. So I loaded the PDF in BIM Track and I positioned it on the location, on the right location within the model. The advantage is that I can see all the information that's on the 2D layout in the PDF file, but still when I would assign an issue based on this 2D information, it would still be located on the right spot in the 3D model. For example, I could ask the engineer that this slab in the staircase needs to be extended. And again, so I create a new issue, localize issue, and so it will again take the exact location and include it in the issue. I add a title and a description. Status is open again. The type is a request. I add a priority, and again, importantly, I assign it to the structural engineer and I set the due date. So now I have added 2 issues in BIM Track. Now we go back to BricsCAD BIM, and accessing the BCF issues can be done through the BCF panel. Again, this is built-in functionality in BricsCAD BIM. So here on the right, here's the icon of the BCF panel. So when I click it, it will open. If you don't see the icon here, you can right-click here and go to Panels, and there is the BIM BCF here. The first time you want to log in, you need to provide a URL, which is here, the BCF REST API.bimtrackapp.co. Now don't worry, the URL can also be found in the help file online on the BCF panel. I click this link and it will send me to a BIM Track login screen where I have to provide my login credentials and sign in. I'm successfully logged in, and here in the BCF panel I can see the projects, the BIM Track projects I am subscribed to. So I go to the right project, and then I will see a list of all the issues that were already created in this project on BIM Track. By default, it will show all the issues, but of course, I can also filter, for example, on the assignee and on the status. For example, if I only want to see the open issues that are assigned to me, I set the filter like this. Okay, so by clicking on an issue, it will give me all the details, like the status, priority. I can click to show more details with the description, due date, creation date, etc. I can also click on this thumbnail, and then it will send me immediately to the exact location where the issue was created in BIM Track, which makes it very easy to navigate and to avoid confusion. Okay, so in this case, the connection needs to be defined in more detail. I will do this with the propagate command in BricsCAD BIM. So I've got a detail that's created here already, and that could be applied here. So when clicking it, I can see some more information on it. And when I click propagate, what the command will do is search within the model for all other locations where the same detail could also be applied. So there's some repetition within the model, and there's different locations where the same model could be applied. So this propagate command adds a lot of efficiency in the workflow and avoids duplicate work for the designer. Okay, so here are all the locations that are similar and where the same detail could also be applied. I could, of course, individually set which locations the detail should not be applied, but in this case, I will just hit enter so that it's applied on all these locations. So as you can see, now the detail has a higher LOD applied. So now I go back to the BCF panel, and now I can change the status to closed. I can add a screenshot by clicking here, screenshot. And then I can add a comment. For example, solved with hinged connection. And then I click add comment. Then I go to the other issue that was assigned to me. Again, I can see all the details. And by clicking the thumbnail, I can go to the exact location. What's more is that it's not only the location that's inside the BCF issue, also the clipping plane that the BIM coordinator applied in BIM Track is also applied within BricsCAD BIM. So this way I can more easily see where the issue exactly is located. So in this case, the BIM coordinator asked for an extension of the slab. So I will apply this extension just like this, just using some direct modeling techniques like the push-pull in BricsCAD BIM. And this way I have made the modification that was asked for. Again, I can take a screenshot. I could, by the way, also add a custom image. Here is the browse button. For example, a sketch or anything that could clarify the issue. But now I will again take a screenshot and add a comment. And I will also change the status of the issue. Okay. Now that both issues have been solved, I can go back to BIM Track. So all these changes are automatically synchronized. So now the BIM coordinator can see within BIM Track that indeed both issues are closed. The comment is also added, as well as this screenshot. So all information is here, and the BIM coordinator is up to date on the changes that were made by the structural engineer. Of course, the changes themselves that are made in the model, if they have to be, if the BIM coordinator wants to see them, then the structural engineer needs to export the model again to IFC in BricsCAD BIM, and then send this IFC file to the BIM coordinator. So the changes themselves are not in the BCF issue, only the updates, the comments, and the screenshots. Okay, so that's it for the demo. Back to you, Jean-Philippe.
Good. So, in order to find out more about BIM Track, please visit their official website, bimtrack.co, and get to know BricsCAD BIM by visiting us at bricsys.com. By following the link you see in the middle, you can try BricsCAD free for 30 days. You can also get more insights into the BCF panel by following the link you see on the right. Feel free to contact us at any time. We're here for you. I think I can wrap up this event. Thanks, Carl, and thank you, Ruben. It's been great. Thank you to Alexine and Arina as well for supporting us with the questions. And thanks to everyone for joining us here today. It's been our pleasure to host this webinar together with BIM Track. If you have any other questions, you know where to find us. Please stay safe and take care of yourself. We hope to see you very soon. Goodbye.